Hello, awesome person of the world. Thank you so much for coming across this website to see what it can offer you and your awesome communication. Within this realm of awesomeness, you're going to notice that I walk a little bit different, I talk a little bit different, and it's because I was born with cerebral palsy, a physical disability which affects the way in which messages travel around my body. Instead of them traveling smooth, mine get a little bit excited and they hit speed bumps along the way, meaning that my limbs are a little bit shaky and so too is my voice. But what you see is what you get. I live in a normal house, I drive a pretty cool car, I have more friends than anyone I know. And if it was a magical cure to make my cerebral palsy disappear, I would have to think twice about taking it, for I cannot see my life going in any better direction. Life is what we make it, and we achieve more than we ever thought possible through awesome communication. I remember sitting in my hotel room in Brisbane, Australia, tweaking for my first international speech. Gosh, I was so excited. As an athlete, my first international competition was in Brisbane and I got to compete all over the world. Maybe with Brisbane being the first place for my first international speech, maybe I would get to speak all over the world. As I stepped in there to the conference room to see 250, 300 delegates, I felt those butterflies sneak in, the knees starting to shake. But I've come to learn that that's okay. The MC started to introduce me. Boom, 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 this sounds great, I sound great, let's go. And then he gets to the end of my introduction and he says, and he's a Kiwi. In front of 250, 300 people, and every single one of them went boo. Now, whether that was a friendly banter or serious, if you're feeling nervous like I was, those butterflies are really starting to fly. Those knees are really starting to shake. But I went on to get a standing ovation through awesome communication. Fast forward a few years and I am speaking all over the world. On this occasion it was a hot Thursday afternoon and my plane's touching down in Houston, Texas. Adjusting my watch to local time and grabbing my suitcase from the carousel, I started to walk over to the taxi rank, where this tall dude greeted me. This guy had a big smile, it was so big it went from ear to ear. And as we drove into this new city, we shared stories about dreams and aspirations, where we had been, what we were doing, because why not? Quickly, our differences were united through our similarities. And I really started to like this guy. In fact, this guy, who once appeared so different, became a good friend of mine through awesome communication. But there was a time when none of us may have been realised that it certainly didn't feel possible. A time when it was easy, really easy, to focus on everything that was different, to see that as a bad thing, to focus on all that was doom and gloom. And every day I wake up in a world where people at a glance will and do see my challenges rather than see my opportunities. But what enables me to see my opportunities, to embrace support and to keep thriving forward into the future, is through what I choose to see, to listen to tell myself. It is awesome communication. Communication sure can get the butterflies flying, the knees shaking, but it can also be a game changer. professionally, socially, and within you. Maybe communication is part of your job. You're selling, you're leading, you're representing, you have people who look to you for guidance. And you know that what you could offer them could make such a significant difference. You just wish you had awesome communication. Maybe you're not the type of person to talk with your taxi driver, your Uber driver. You're shy, you're lonely, you're the type of person to focus on why we wouldn't communicate rather than why we would communicate. Imagine turning that around with awesome communication, and then maybe. And after 18 years of professional speaking, this is where I found a lot of people get stuck. Heck, I know I've got stuck in this place from time to time, and that is with the communication we are choosing to surround ourselves with. Telling ourselves about ourselves and believing about ourselves. This is our communication with self, but that too can be turned around with awesome communication. And the truth is that wherever we are on the ladder of communication, there are always tips and tricks that make us better. Wherever we are professionally and personally, the ability to truly know and reflect on our story, to give a speech, to engage better with a stranger, friends and colleagues, and to tell yourself that you're strong, positive and encouraging can create a richer, more valuable, more encouraging, more awesome life. Within this website, I am sharing tips and tricks, resources and models, interviews and stories that have seen me take communication from my biggest perceived weakness and something that was weakening my quality of life to something that has become the building blocks to developing a 6-figure-a-year business. Better friendships and innovations, and a more awesome me so that you can communicate a more awesome you through awesome communication.